Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Trijicon HD XR sights. First off, Trijicon did send me these sights. They also sent me these HD XR sights for another build that we're doing, and they did send me some fiber optic sights as well. These ones are going to be in a review video eventually. We just got these put on, so we're going to start testing them now. So let's get right into these sights and find out what makes them so good. These are personally my favorite sights that I have ever used on a handgun, aftermarket and stock. Coming in a close second would be the Archon Type B stock sights. Those ones are fantastic. I really enjoy those as well. But for a Glock aftermarket sights, these are by far the best that I have personally used. So let's go over the details on these sights and find out what makes them so good. So let's take a look at the design of these sights. So the back sight post has a sharp cant on the front here. What that's used for is one-hand manipulations. If you have a hand down and you're engaging on a target and you have to do a manipulation of your gun, you can rack it off your belt, you can rack it off a wall, you can do what you need with this sight post, and they're durable enough and made strong enough that you can run whatever you need on this and push it off that sight post and it will not damage the sight or cause it to move and get out of alignment. So that's nice. Then you have the back of this, which I'll show you a closer video. This has got like a serration to it. What that's supposed to stop is glare. I personally have never had a problem with glare on the back sights, but if you can do it, might as well do it and completely eliminate that issue if it does arise. So that is what those are for. And then you have the back tritium on these ones, but it's blacked out. So you have that quick acquisition of a concealed carry sight with that blacked out back, but you do have the tritium dots there as well if you're one of those people that like to align your sights in that way, and they are night sights. So you have the tritium in the back and the tritium in the front. And I'll show you here, these are night sights. So at low light or no light situations, if you don't have a weapon light, you can see these sights, or even if you do have a weapon light like the X300 I have, you can still see these sights really well. So I think these are mainly supposed to be a night sight, but for me personally, I love these as a daytime sight. So I like having that capability of having it as both. I've had night sights on my first Glock that I ever bought, and I love them. And I always wanted to keep the night sights on the gun. So I'm glad that they incorporated that so you do have that night sight capability. The front sight post, everyone told me that you have to Loctite these. I've never Loctited any of my sights in the past, never had any issues. I will say that I had to Loctite these 3 times now. The first 2 times, I don't know if I did it wrong or what, because I don't really ever use Loctite. I'm not a big fan of using Loctite. So didn't stick the first 2 times. The 3rd time I did it, it's been on for a couple months now, and a lot of rounds, haven't had any issues with it moving. So I would recommend Loctiting these if you get these sights. Another thing is the height of these. Everyone kept telling me as well, I will enjoy the height because I picked up some night vision sights. Well, night vision sent me sights, and after I was testing those, I didn't know if I liked how low they were. Once I got these, they're a little bit higher up, so when you're aiming, it's weird. If you've run them before, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, the first time you pick these up, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I absolutely loved it. They're sticking up a little bit higher, so to me, it was almost easier to aim down my gun because I don't know, it's not as significant enough to where you're moving your gun a ton, but I feel like you don't have to look right down the slide as much. You're a little bit higher up. So for me, it's a little bit more comfortable. So they are a little bit raised, and I really like that fact. The back post of these does have a U-notch. Now, that's a little bit different for some people. I didn't personally think I was going to like it, but so far, I actually do really enjoy that U-notch. Some people think it's better with the flat because it's more accurate because you've got everything squared off, but I haven't found any issues with this or had any inaccuracies with that being the U-notch. Now, I want to do a lot more shooting with their fiber optic ones because their fiber optic ones are squared off, so I want to do a lot more side-by-side comparison between these two and shooting and kind of decide which back post I like the most. And then I'll give you guys that info later on, probably on Instagram, and let you know what I find with that. But that's going to be a personal preference with that one. Like a lot of things with sights, it's really all about personal preference, what you like. These do have a limited lifetime warranty on them. The tritium itself is supposed to last for up to 12 years. I have not had these for that long, so I cannot give you guys a proper, idea of if that's true. I'd imagine if Trijicon is saying it, that's probably true. I did watch a review from Mr. Guns and Gear, and he said he's had his for 8 years and they're starting to dim. He said that's kind of the average for his. So I would say 8 years is still a really good time frame for owning these sights and having that tritium. Even if the tritium does go away, you can still use these sights. You still have that illuminate, or not illuminate, but you have that ring still in the front, so you can still use these no problem. You're just not going to have that night sight capability after that 12-year mark or whenever they do decide to go dim or or stop working. So you still have that capability. It's not an issue. You're not gonna have to throw these away as long as you don't care about having that night sight, or you can replace them, throw it on a different gun that you don't quite use as much, or as a concealed carry gun, just something you take to the range, and then buy some new ones for your concealed carry gun. Now, a lot of people wonder what the difference between the XRs and just the HDs are, the originals. The biggest difference that you're gonna have is this front sight post size. It's a lot thinner. What that's supposed to be a benefit for is for long range shooting. You can get a more accurate shot, which I'll show you guys some videos down these and try to get them focused up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot more room in between the back sight post, and what that's supposed to do is be able to be more accurate, see more field of view and everything. I have never ran the old HD sights, but the night vision sights seem to be a lot like those ones, other than they're shorter. So after running those, I really like the smaller front sight post. For me, I feel like I'm a lot more accurate with it that way. Some people don't feel that way, so that's gonna be a preference thing. So depending what you want, if you like that thinner front sight post for more accurate shots, longer range, or if you don't, that's completely up to you. So they do have that option of choosing between the two. But that's gonna be your big difference between these two. For me, I personally really enjoy it because I think I'm a lot more accurate with that front sight post being smaller like that. Now let's go over some pros and cons real quick with these. So the biggest pro with these is the upgraded accuracy. For me, going from your stock sights to these, this is a huge improvement, and definitely probably one of the first things that I would recommend upgrading on any Glock that you have. The stock sights, as a lot of people know, they're not the best sights in the world. They're kind of crappy. I mean, if you train on anything long enough, you're gonna get good at it. You can train on a high point, go long enough and be good at it. But for me, I think there's a lot better options, and you can spend a little bit of money and quickly upgrade the accuracy of your gun by doing something pretty simple, and that's upgrading the sights. So this is definitely a huge upgrade to the stock sights. Now, your next benefit is you have the tritium, so these are night sights. So you have the capability of night sights or daytime sights. Big benefit there. Trijicon is a great company. They're well known. They have a lot of stuff on the market and a lot of trusted stuff on the market. So that's another pro. It's a company that's really trusted, and they're giving out good products. It seems to be one of the standard upgrades that people are running is Trijicon sights on their guns. These are for multiple different guns, so you can get these for your M&Ps, Sig Sauers, depending what you want or what gun you have. This isn't just a Glock upgrade, so you can upgrade these on multiple different guns. They're going to look a little bit different depending on the gun platform that you're getting them on, but the same concept of the way they work is going to be the exact same. Another benefit to these is the back sight post and how they function. They're very durable, very reliable, and they function well because they have that front post there, so you can do manipulations. A lot of sights you can do the manipulations with. You can even do it with stock sights, but they're not quite as durable, and they might move around on you. So knowing that these were kind of made for that design gives you a little bit of peace of mind that you can do it a little bit more. Depending on how much training you do, a lot of people will do a lot of one-hand manipulation training just in case. I don't do a ton of it, but I have done it before, so it's nice to have that as an option. Now let's take a look at some cons for these sights. So the biggest one, and you guys probably guessed it, is the price. So you're looking at about $150 for these, depending where you find them. They can top out about $170. So for me, with the other sights that are really nice and quality that are on the market right now for about $80 to $100, I think that's a little bit steep. So I'd like to see them bring that down a little bit. I think maybe the longer that these are out, they might end up doing it. Now the only thing that you could say for that is it's Trijicon. Trijicon makes really quality stuff, and they're really trusted. So I guess it does make it worth spending the extra money because you know it's a good product, but I still just think it's a little bit pricey. The other downside and con is going to be the sharp edges of the back post. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about this being an issue where it causes to have holes in their shirts when they're concealed carrying. I personally haven't had that issue, which is a good thing, but I can definitely see that becoming an issue because these are really sharp. So I really don't see like a design reason why they have to be so sharp and pointy. So I'd like to see the newer ones they make be a little more rounded off, or just not quite as sharp. They don't have to be rounded off, but they are quite sharp. So I can see that being an issue down the long run. So those are the only cons that I can really find about these sights, because I really do think these are a fantastic set of sights and a great upgrade for you. So now it's really going to come down to something that I recommend and would actually spend my own money on. And the answer to that is absolutely. So any gun that I'm going to be concealed carrying and trusting with my life, like this one and this one, will be getting Trijicon upgraded sights. They are the best that I've ran so far. Until I find something better, these are what every one of my guns are going to get. Now, if I have just a range princess and something, or a safe queen, something like that, I'm probably not going to spend that money on these. I'll probably either put that towards an optic, like a red dot, or might get something a little bit cheaper. But for something I'm trusting in my life, 100% I will be purchasing these and putting them on my Glocks. So I definitely recommend them to you guys. Now, if you guys are looking something a little bit cheaper and it's a little bit steep for you, Trijicon does offer some cheaper sites on their website, so you can go that route as well. Also, like I said, there are good companies out there that sell them for about $80 to $100. So there are other site companies that make really good sites that you can get them a little bit cheaper, depending on what your budget is and what you're looking for. So if this is something you guys are interested in and want to check out Trijicon, they have a lot of other sites there. They have optics. They are a really good company and they make some great quality products. Just ask anybody that's ran them pretty much loves them. I haven't heard a ton of bad things about Trijicon at all. If you guys want to help me and the page out, there is a link down in the description. I'll take you directly to my website. From there, if you go to Palmetto State Armory, Brownells, Air Precision, any of those links and purchase anything, a small kickback of that will come back to me. That just helps purchase ammo, range equipment, camera equipment, editing software, anything that it takes for me to make good videos for you guys. I don't get paid for this. I don't receive free ammo, so it does get expensive. So if you guys want to keep getting the high quality videos, I really appreciate that. If not a problem. I really appreciate you guys liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. That helps me a ton. Thank you guys so much.